Welcome to the section, The Multiple Crises or Multi-Crises of the European Union and Euroscepticism. The purpose of this module is to discuss the impact of the crises of the European Union on the politicization of European integration and on Euroscepticism. To begin, it is important to clarify the term multiple crises. It is a term coined by French theorist Edgar Morin and then adopted by Jean-Claude Juncker, President of the European Commission in 2016, to describe the experience of trying to govern the European Union during the Greek debt crisis, Putin's first attack on Ukraine, the reactions to Brexit, and the crisis of refugees from Syria arriving in Europe. What he was attempting to articulate was the experience of not having a single crisis with a well-defined logic. It seems that the critical moment for the emergence of multiple crises is 2008, at which time there is not only the financial crisis and its development into a debt crisis in the Eurozone, but also Putin's first attack on Georgia. The key elements of the multi-crisis are the economy, politics, geopolitics, and the environment. These four factors are not independent of each other, but interconnected and multidimensional. Starting with the financial crisis, we can remember that it quickly turned into a Eurozone debt crisis, with some member states unable to borrow because of skyrocketing interest rates. At that time, there was no bailout mechanism for any Eurozone member state. The consequence of this crisis was therefore the creation of the European Stability Mechanism, ESM. The ESM was established by the Eurozone member states in 2012. Its mission is to enable Eurozone countries to avoid and overcome financial crises and to maintain long-term financial stability and prosperity. In other words, the ESM acts as a creditor of last resort for Eurozone member states when they are unable to refinance their sovereign debt in financial markets at sustainable prices. In this role, the ESM is the successor to the European Financial Stability Fund, EFSF, a temporary institution created in 2010. Both institutions played a critical role in maintaining the integrity of the Eurozone during the Eurozone debt crisis, providing a total of $295 billion in loans to 5 countries: Ireland, Portugal, Greece, Spain, and Cyprus. As part of these programs, these financed countries implemented reforms to address the weaknesses that led to economic and financial problems. It is clear that the euro area debt crisis may have created major problems, particularly for some member states such as Greece, but it has been a step towards further deepening the euro area and putting European solidarity into practice. Among other things, this was followed by the migration crisis, which led the European Union to adopt policies to strengthen cooperation between member states for the management of migration flows and the integration of refugees. The European Union-Turkey Agreement is one such example. The Brexit followed, which was the result of many factors, but once again highlighted how Euroscepticism, when combined with populism, can lead to adverse outcomes. The United Kingdom's exit from the European Union is the first and so far only exit of a member state. A major crisis that challenged the European Union was the COVID-19 pandemic. Member states have led to the activation of the integrated mechanism for civilian arrangements for crisis response and, in addition to sharing information, have mobilized resources to support the emergency response to the virus by ensuring the supply of protection equipment, strengthening research, and supporting international partners in need. At the same time, a common certificate for COVID was created for the first time, and European management in the supply and distribution of vaccines was adopted, which allowed the vaccine to be distributed in an equitable and efficient manner to all member states. And the European Stability and Development Mechanism is in fact the implementation of European solidarity towards citizens and member states in need, as it is a partial form of debt mutualization and financing of the development of the economy of all member states, which was affected by the pandemic and the successive restrictions. Subsequently, Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, apart from being a major security threat to the European Union, led to the energy crisis, resulting in higher energy prices and, more generally, the inflationary tendencies that subsequently emerged. The common attitude of the member states of the European Union is a practical demonstration of solidarity between member states both towards the Ukrainian people and between member states. All of the above crises demonstrate that in recent years, continuous challenges to European governance have led to both problems and further deepening of integration. Among others, typical examples are the ESM and the European Stability and Growth Mechanism. However, Euroscepticism persists and continues to raise arguments challenging the European project. Eurosceptic approaches can be divided into hard approaches, those that oppose the European project as a whole, and soft approaches, those that are concerned about specific aspects of European integration. Their economic and cultural positions may also differ, as they are located both on the far right and far left of the political spectrum, and their development is linked to specific national circumstances. Support for Eurosceptic parties was low for most of the 2000s, but since the financial crisis of 2008, the share of the vote in national elections for hardline Eurosceptics has increased dramatically. At the same time, the vote for soft Eurosceptics also increased from about 7% to 27% in 2022. Support for hard Euroscepticism did not increase significantly after the 2016 Brexit referendum, perhaps as a result of its aftermath. In contrast, support for soft Euroscepticism continues to grow. The combination of soft and hard Euroscepticism is particularly strong in countries run by Eurosceptic parties or coalitions, such as Hungary. Hard Eurosceptics won significant vote shares in recent national elections in France, Italy, and Sweden. Successfully overcoming the crises is therefore not only an opportunity to deepen European integration, but also a response to the Eurosceptics that the most effective way of tackling common problems can only be European.